Religious covert narcissists are the worst narcissists you can run across, especially the religious ones who pretend like they love God and pretend like they love people, right? And you have a lot of them that dwell in some of these churches and religious institutions because they're looking for people that they can take advantage of. I'll tell you about the religious narcissists that I married at a different time, but I want to talk about this one pastor, right? For many years, I was a minister and I was under different pastors and things like that. And this one pastor that I was really cool with, him and I used to go bowling and do all kind of stuff. He would come to the house and different things, and I would cut his hair. I mean, we were really cool, right? And so one time this girl had joined the church, right? And she was going through really bad. She had been raped, right? She had been raped by a guy. He had kicked her back door in, and she was really traumatized by that. So her and I had become really good friends, right? I mean, there was nothing sexual about it. I mean, we were just really cool people. And I would go to her house sometime and watch movies. And, sometimes she'd even let me use her truck to do certain things because we were just that cool, right? And so at the same time, me and the pastor was real cool, right? So the pastor told me one day, he said, man, I won't tell you the girl's name, but he was like, man, she looks kind of pretty. And I was like, Pastor, she's going through right now. Don't mess with her. So what he did was he used his position to get close to the girl. And I didn't know it, right? And so he started telling me, man, I really like her, I think. And I was like, Pastor, she's not into that right now. I told him what she had been through, and he didn't care about that, right? So one night the girl calls me, and he had her number. Let me just say, he had her number because he was her pastor at this time, right? He was her pastor, and he had her number. So one night, and he had been calling her because she told me that he had been calling me trying to counsel me or whatever, right? But I knew, I said, this dude likes her. Like, what is the deal? So, right, so she calls me one night, and she's like, Greg, he's outside my window, knocking on my window, trying to get in. I said, who? She was like, the pastor. She was like, he won't leave me alone. He keeps trying to talk to me and sleep with me and things like that. I'm like, what in the world? Why would this man? And I was so confused because I didn't confront him the first time about that. And that might have been my fault, because a lot of times when you're up under a religious person, you think of them as the closest person to God, right? So, she told me he's outside my window, and I never, told him about that. But then she told me a few other times that he had tried to come over and do certain things with her, and she told him no. So at one point, I was really confused because I would go to church, and this guy would still be preaching phenomenally. But now I knew in the background that this guy is fake, man. This guy is trying to do these things with this girl, and I told him, right? So he went on, and she called me again one night, saying he keeps calling me. He keeps trying to say, please talk to your pastor. And I'm going to leave it right there, because I just want to say that there are a lot of pastors, and I'm not saying all pastors, who use their leverage and their position to manipulate a lot of women. That's why you see a lot of pastors' wives, they end up walking away, because they know exactly how these guys are cut. And there are religious people, fake religious people, that walk around in churches all the time, and that's my story.